Good morning to all. On behalf of Deer Park, I would like to welcome all the participants, and we are very fortunate that Geshe is here. I have lost the count how many teachings he has given in this hall. We are particularly grateful and very happy to see that till maybe the last session, I have been seeing 90% old faces. And this time, I think 90% new faces. And 10%, I think old faces. I can really see like Sonamla and some of them. So that really shows another way of seeing Geshe, your pull, your dharma, how really getting more and more people benefited by that. Geshe, I normally do not read the biography because I really find that it is known everyone. But since this time I find a lot of new faces, I like to briefly mention the Geshe-la's biodata. Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul is presently Director at Tibet House, New Delhi, Cultural Center of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. In 1988, Geshe Dorji Damdul joined the Institute of Buddhist Dialectics, Dharamshala, for formal studies in Buddhist logic, philosophy, and epistemology. After 15 years of study in Buddhist philosophy, he finished his Geshe Larampa degree, which is equivalent to the PhD, in 2002 from Drepung Losling Monastic University, which is in South India. He joined Gyume Tantric College after doing his PhD for a year for Tantric studies. He is appointed as the official translator to His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, since 2005. He has been serving as the interpreter of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, for so many years, and at the same time involved in doing written translations of many texts from Tibetan to English, such as Arya Nagarjuna's Mulamadma Karika, Fundamental Wisdom of Middle Way, Acharya Shantideva's Bodhicharya Avtara Wisdom Chapter. He was appointed as the director of Tibet House, Cultural Center of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, New Delhi, in March 2011. So it's almost 12 years now that he has been there. And those who are in Delhi, those who are listening his teaching, we know how beneficial has been as his tenure there. While engaged with the responsibility of the directorship of the Tibet House, the Cultural Center of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, New Delhi, India, he also gives regular lectures in Tibet House and many other places like universities and the institutes. He also travels widely within India and abroad, like Mumbai, USA, UK, Singapore, to teach Buddhist philosophy, psychology, logic, and practice. Well, I think this is what I have been given the written biodata, but I would like to really add that the experience of listening to him is no parallel to what has really been said in this biodata. And the presence of the teacher, I was yesterday mentioning to Geshe, the psychologist who has done the study of the communication. There's a formula which is called the 7, 38, and 55. The weightage in the communication, 7% is only the words, 38% is the tone, and 55% is the whole body language. I think I would say, listening to Geshe, I think he is always at 100% of that. The presence of the teacher, in fact, I really would like to confess, could not feel that strongly at why we keep on telling teacher, guru. I read an article, rather, in the book where there was a conversation between Ananda and Buddha. Ananda said, Bhagwan, the presence of the Kalyan Mitra is 50% dharma. Presence of Kalyan Mitra is 50% dharma. It is holy. Buddha said no. The presence of the good Kalyan Mitra is 100% holy and dharma. No wonder when we go and listen like His Holiness, I think our mind is totally in the different frame. I think that presence. So we are very happy to have you, Geshe. I think your presence, we know, makes a lot of a difference to us. And particularly the Deer Park, we always look forward when he would come, because it's a different kind of energy. I would like to welcome the participants. I think you have left your engagements, the pressing engagements. You have decided to come here. That shows your inner yearning that you want to see something very different by being here and now in the Deer Park and listening to Geshe. When we are really talking of here and now, I really find this is the ground we really need to have. I want to share a small story. In 2008, Thich Nhat Hanh, if you have heard the name, I think some of you must have heard his name. He came to India and I was part of the organizing team. He spent more than a month. Last leg of his program was the pilgrimage to the Buddhist places, mainly in Bihar. There were 300 international pilgrims in that. And we stayed in Nalanda in the military complex. It was the ordnance factories, which is slightly restricted, but they gave the permission to us. In India, like in every five-star hotel, one used to write the name in the register. So we all wrote Ajir Vidya, such and such, Delhi, everyone. And Thich Nhat Hanh Thai also has to write. He also wrote his name. And in the address column, he just wrote, here and now. I think it was so wonderful to have that. So can we make this 7 days here and now as our address? I think it'd be very wonderful and very transformative for all of us. And it's very wonderful to listen to Geshe, because definitely I can feel that the mind gets some change. I'm very fond of one of the Urdu a poet called the Ghalib. I think those who are Indian, they will really understand. He said, Bhool karta raha Ghalib, bhool karta raha zindagi var Ghalib, धूल चेहरे पे आईना साफ करता रहा. Which essentially means, the Ghalib is saying that the dust is on the face, but I kept on rubbing the mirror. I hope you're really getting what he is trying to say. The dust is on my face, but I kept on rubbing the mirror, thinking that the dust would go away. So I think this is like a cognitive correction, which is going to bring, I hope, and I'm very confident, the Geshe-la's teaching will give that perspective. Well, I think I probably said more than what I was really required to say. With this, once again, I really would like to thank Geshe for giving his time and all the participants who have come here. We will try to make your stay as comfortable as possible. And at this moment, I also would like to thank our team. You say sometimes we forget the people who are behind. Once I was in the opera show, beautiful music coming. I thought, from where is it coming? Oh, the people are playing the instruments. Large number of the people playing the instruments. But behind the instruments who are there, they are the musicians. And behind the musicians who are there, they're the person who is really conducting. But we forget all of them. We only remember what we really listen as the opera music. So here also, I really would like to thank the people behind. Mr. Diwan, who is the director here. Praveen, everyone has to have his encounter to come here. Rajinder, who has been meticulously working to get the recordings done. And our staff in the kitchen. I wanted to get him here, our manager, but he is busy there. So I would like to really thank. Along with that, through the Geshe, I would like to convey our deep, deep sense of gratitude to the Deer Park staff. I don't think they have ever said no to any of the requests, or they have always been very helpful. So Geshe, we would like to thank your entire staff who have been very supportive to us. So with that, I think I'll request Mr. Diwanji from all of us to offer Kathak to Geshe before the teaching starts. Thank you very much, Geshe.
Okay, thank you, Ajirji. Thank you so much. It is always, all of you will come to know Ajirji so well in the course of this 1 week teaching. And also that how I came in contact with Deer Park. It was the time, I think about like 14 years ago. Deer Park established 2006. I came to first, I think, know Prashantji and the Jennifer. So these are the things which the people here, most of you who are new to Deer Park, it'll be good to hear these accounts so that you feel the ambience of Deer Park even more. That the Prashantji is a very dynamic person and who can really work to make a difference and bring things in fruition very effectively. And Jennifer, who is also one of the founding members of Deer Park, once she came to my place in Dharamsala when I was in Dharamsala, and I shared some anecdotes of the great masters of Nalanda Monastery University. And she said that, Geshe, you must come to Deer Park to share these stories. So it never happened thus far. It had been only the teachings, solid teachings, but never the stories. Okay, so this is very affectionate invitation from Jennifer. I so fondly remember even now. And Pravinji, he so beautifully shared with me yesterday that Jennifer laid the foundation for Deer Park, and we run on this foundation. This is what he explained so beautifully. Okay, so with this, the Divanji, thank you so much for being the director here, taking the responsibility of all. And some of you, I'm not too sure how many of you know Rajinder since he was 10 years old. Yeah, everybody loved him so much. And the Ajirji, so you, as I said earlier, you'll come to know him the next 1 week. You will see how loving, how affectionate, how deeply ingrained in the Dharma he is. A great inspiration for all of us. Extremely, extremely compassionate, loving, pure at heart. So precious. And I can see many of the not old faces, long-term faces. I know. It's quite poignant indeed to see the whole change, the change in the audience. Long time ago, they were all above 40, 50, 60. Now, I think like the 30s. How many are in your 30s, raise hands? In your 30s. Majority, I think, are in 30s. In 20s? Oh, 20s, not less than 30s. Okay, so what I'm seeing is that I see many of the faces from long time ago. And also now new faces. Yeah. And Zalina's there. Okay. Who has a deep the passion for psychology. And particularly we need to treasure people like Zalina who take initiative to bring about, to let the whole community move towards education, towards the growth, and finally accomplish the vision of the great enlightened beings, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who thinks of bringing about a total change in the leadership, where the leaders are more compassionate, more sensible. And just imagine today, all these big world leaders are like His Holiness the Dalai Lama. There will be no wars. All these trillions of dollars will be dedicated towards the education, towards the welfare of the humanity, of the animals, of the environment, of the education, of the health, and so forth. But unfortunately today, billions of dollars, trillions of dollars are wasted on the borders, the missiles, and so forth. It's very unfortunate. So Zalina has been involved in organizing programs to bring about, say, the education for the masses. So precious. So with this in mind, there are many new faces here. And so of course, the topic is something, of course, Nagarjuna, a great teacher, great enlightened being, revered as the second Buddha in the domain of the Mahayana Buddhism in the Chinese tradition and also in the Tibetan tradition, which we inherited from the Nalanda Monastic University. So this topic is quite technical, and seeing that there are many of us here who are new faces, perhaps you're already familiar to these concepts from your past lives. Although you look so young, but you may be old soul from the past lives. We never know. We never know. And the fact that somehow this topic, Nagarjuna, the 70 stanzas on emptiness. While this is advertised, and then you feel connected, for no doubt there's some connection, karmic connection with this great enlightened being. Now, we also have group discussions, and some of those like Sonam are here, Churul are here, Tornils are here, and then we have the Omar, then Kate there, and who else from the past? Dejala is there, and Ravij is also here. Okay, so what I'm saying is that those who attended these programs from the earlier days, you are already familiar to the trend of the group discussion. Just group discussions, they're extremely important, and that my request, particularly to those people who are already exposed to this concept of emptiness, is that given that there are many young new faces, we should be all very sympathetic, very kind towards them, and let us not, in the first place, the topic itself is very complicated, while I will try my best to make things simpler. At the same time, during the group discussions, I'm sure that those people who are more exposed to this concept, you will have many questions. You just want to get answers right within this 1 week. And then in the process, it's quite sad that the new potential, the young ones, they may feel a little demoralized in the first place that the topic is very technical, and then those who are already exposed, they come up with their own questions and they are totally lost. So let us be more compassionate, particularly those who are already exposed to this concept on emptiness. Let us be compassionate and be more patient. And instead of you jumping with your questions, let us make it a point that you keep a little, maintain patience, and let's, particularly the newcomers, let them speak, at least for the first 2 or 3 days. How many days are there? How many days? 7 days. So let's say first 2 days, let the younger ones being those who are new, let them speak. And then meanwhile, listen to them, you will get the inspiration that, oh, this was what I was 10 years ago. This is what I was 5 years ago, right? And on that basis, you will be inspired. You'll be inspired, and then give them the directions. Even giving direction is also a skill. You learn the skills in the process of doing so. So that way, this teaching, Nagarjuna, always praises the Buddha, not for the Buddha having performed miracles, but the Buddha having taught compassion, Buddha having taught the concept of dependent origination. So compassion must be the fabric of our being, including the teaching, including the several when I teach, it must be on the ground of compassion. And when you take part in your own group discussions, particularly the seniors interacting with the juniors, it must be the spirit of compassion that others have benefited. And on the 3rd day, 4th day, the following days, then you may come up with your own questions. So the younger ones or the new faces, they are already exposed to this. They already have some flow. They already are into the flow, and then they will admire this concept even more, listening to your questions to see how profoundly one can go. Look at these seniors. So this is how we can be inspired. This is one thing. And the mornings, they are going to be, usually we have almost 2 hours of the prayers and meditation. And the reason for that, I'd like to explain this, is that for this retreat, I wouldn't really make it as compulsory, but I would highly recommend you coming to take part in these the morning sessions, the morning from 6 through to 7:30 is 1.5 hours. Usually we have like 2 hours for 2 hours. But I would highly recommend you coming to take part in these. Otherwise, during the Bodhicitta retreats, this is compulsory for everyone. The morning sessions of this is, and the morning session, why it's considered very important is for the reason that over the next few days, we'll come to learn how important it is not to waste our life. You, me. It's so important how not to waste our life. And we see that whether we like it or not, time passes. Time flies. In age like 20s, you see that time is now running. In 30s, time is flying. In 40s, it's like yesterday and already 10 years gone. In 50s, your body tells you that you are already old. I'm 56 now. And the COVID vaccine told me that I'm already old. Because the COVID vaccine, I did not give any, just few minutes of the feverish, not feverish, little bit of headache, that's it. No COVID, the vaccine reaction. Because my body's, all cells, they surrendered to the COVID vaccine, surrendered. No hope now. Already 55. COVID vaccine, they are stronger than us. They surrendered, right? As the younger ones, you must have several days of reaction. Younger ones, right? Where's Yundala? Yundala, how many days reaction? 2 days reaction, very bad reaction, right? Because your body fought. Your body's so young. Every cell is so young. My cells is surrendered. Right away surrendered. They tried, hopeless, and they gave up. I take a paracetamol, finished. Everything's gone. Yeah, so what I'm saying is that in the 50s, your body tells you that now already aging. So this is how the time flies. But your mind can become older, can become younger. Your mind, so with these Nagarjuna's teachings, your mind will, you can see that your mind is growing younger, and happier. So the point is that how to make give meaning to life. And to be very honest, today, 21st century AD, we see that we invest a major part of our time on the modern education. How many agree with me? Raise hands. How many agree with me? We invest major part of your time, the forming years, for the modern education. So this is to give shape to your mind. And you realize the 7-day teaching, you'll realize that these brilliant thoughts of the great Indian masters like Nagarjuna, they are the real materials to give a shape, proper shape to a mind. What shape? To make us happier. To take us away from fears more and more. To take us away from the miseries more and more. This is what is happening. But for that matter, we need the theory part and the practical part. So the laboratory is also required. So the morning sessions is primarily to create a sense of laboratory for us to put these teachings into a life, so that the actual cooking of the food is happening. You know you get the recipe, learn the recipe, and once you have the good understanding to the recipe, you have to actually cook. So the morning is to teach us how to cook, and the teaching sessions 3 times, 4 times a day, they are for us to intellectually learn how to make things happen, and the mornings to learn how to implement this into a practice. So therefore, highly recommend you to join the morning sessions. And of course, I'll also join the morning sessions. This is one thing. And then should you have any other questions? So the first 2-3 days, we require more time to create the flow. Then after that, it's going to be more interactive. And you can come up with your questions. Sometimes you can even leave the last 10-20 minutes for question answers. So you doing that while you can come up with your questions. Questions not necessarily confined to this text, but also to anything related to your, say, the Dharma, spirituality, with your life, and dealing with emotions and so forth. I say this is not that I have all the answers, it's that we'll all hear what the serious issues are about life from other people, and then we also give more thought to this. Okay, so with this in mind, what we do is that usually we do, say, given that in the first morning session from 6 to 7:30, we do the present practice, and explanations will be given then. But in the classes we do it very short. But today, because that is the first session, we will, as auspicious beginning, we will turn to page 3 of this book. Okay. Okay, this is the brown book that you have, The Blaze. This is with a different cover. It's the same book. The one that we have is the same book. And those of us who are now, who use the iPad, laptops, and so forth, this is what you can download for free. This book you can download for free from Tibet House, the website. Okay. Okay. This book is not like the ready-made book from somewhere. So this is, I think, about like 15 years of effort. 15 years of effort. Particularly, Ajirji has seen the evolution of this book. Omar K, do you remember? Evolution of the book. From this blue one, then gradually become the yellow, the brown book. And the title also gradually changing, right? And it's become fatter. Yeah, so this is many years of effort of many hands. So, and whatever is included, how they are put into the particular order, there's always a reason there. So with this in mind, we will read this. While we read this, just make it a point that we reflect on the meanings as much as you can. And why do we have to read this? All these things, we can have more discussions in the coming days. Okay, so those of us who already know the purpose, we do it. Those who do not know the purpose, at least for today, you trust me, right? There must be a purpose. And then from tomorrow, don't follow blindly, but try to know the meanings, why we are doing this. Okay, with this in mind, let's turn to page 3 of this book. I'm sure it is the same book, the editions. There are several editions. So with this in mind, finally, we'll come to learn that as Ajirji said, that when you see something wrong on your face in the mirror, what we tend to do in our life is try to clean the mirror there. There's some dust on the face. So no matter how much you clean the mirror, the dust on the face will never go. So the point is, the dust on your face is the dust in your mind. till that is removed, we will never be happy. This is the reality. Till was wrong with the mind, till that is removed, we will never be happy. Say the material resources, people around you, clean air. In fact, I remember the Dorji's the father, who was once here, I think Mr. Gill, Dr. M.S. Gill, and who was highly respected, a former minister, and also the chief election commissioner of the whole nation twice. When he was here, he told me that here in Tibet we are breathing oxygen. We are breathing oxygen. He put it so beautifully. We are breathing oxygen. Yes, so we are breathing oxygen, and we are being so well fed by the kitchen staff, so well attended to by the Srintrula Pravinji, and then such a love and affection example given by Ajirji and Rajinder, making us, everybody is so happy. So all the people, the housekeeping, the gardeners, everyone's making us so happy. But the real happiness we have, unless until what's going wrong in the mind, unless that is removed, we will never be happy. Let's not forget it. Let's not forget it. Okay, so this, of course, this is again something which we will learn in the course of the next few days. And I see that there are some who came from Singapore. Sonamla, JC, CJ, and here, Serene, Jean from Malaysia, and then here, Vijay, from USA, and then I can see many of you, and even from India, far away, Raviji, Zalina, where do you come from? From Delhi. Okay, so we see that I'm sure there are many of you from different places, from Ladakh. Yeah, so they welcome you all. It's the great joy you have come here. No doubt is your connection with Arya Nagarjuna, the great teacher. And so this is it. So with this mind, today, see, the funny what as Ajirji said, that we have to cleanse our mind to accomplish what we are seeking. And in short, is cleanse the mind of your ignorance, cleansing the mind of this selfishness. These are the two demons within us. These are the two dirt within us, true dirt. Remove these two and you will forever be happy. When you are alone, you'll feel that I have a privacy. When you're with other people, you will feel so happy that I'm not lonely. Whereas if the dirt is there, you will see differently. When you're alone, you will say, I am lonely. When you're with other people, you say, I have no privacy. So when something's wrong here, you will never be happy. When something's fixed, you are happy in all situations. So with this in mind, the whole purpose is to fix ourselves. This is for this reason that the Buddha said, you are the master of yourself. Who else is there as your master? The one who tames one's mind is wise and will be liberated. This is what the Buddha said. So with this in mind, so to seek, say, the help from this teacher, this tradition, that tradition, this is all secondary. The real teacher should be identify your own good qualities, true nature of your mind. Once you identify your true nature of your mind, that's your true teacher, that is your true temple, that's your true mosque, that's the true church. And this, everybody has it. Only thing is to be connected with this to let it manifest. With this in mind, just imagine, seek the inspirations of all these enlightened beings, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, on this planet Earth. Today we have His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and I should not miss to also mention Swansea Khenzo Rinpoche, a great visionary, so courageous in bringing about, say, the changes and bringing about innovations to the minds to connect people to the Dharma is so precious. Let us also keep in mind that his activities of the Dharma flourish. Okay, so with this in mind, let us invoke the blessings of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Say, if you're Christian, invoke the blessings of Jesus Christ. If you are Hindu, invoke the blessings of the Ram, Krishna, and so forth. And likewise, let's say the Muslim, the Prophet Muhammad, Lord Mahavir, Baha'u'llah, Zoroaster, and Guru Nanakji, and all these great teachers, just invoke them to seek blessings in the form of compassion, to remove the selfishness within us, to seek blessings of the wisdom to dispel our ignorance. So these are to be eradicated. So, and that too, you are doing this not only for yourself, but for your two parents, for your children, for all the sentient beings, human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, health beings, God and goddesses, spirits. So just imagine all of them with you, and imagine that the whole purpose of this is to cleanse my mind of all my mental defilements, so that the true nature of my mind becomes manifest. That in whatever situation, I will be forever happy, with no fear, with no miseries, and happiness, the infinite, and that I can teach, guide others in the light of this direction of happiness and fearlessness. So with this mind, imagine that you are leading this recitation and all beings are joining you. Page 3. And through your great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha with Dharma, I pay homage. And through your great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha with Dharma, I pay homage. And through your great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha with Dharma, I pay homage. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. The Tibetan version, we'll say this together. Sanje joda zoge jonam na chanjo bardo dale gyapso che dage jinso gebe sonam toda benjere sanje jo barasho sanje joda zoge jonam la chanjo bardo dale gyapso dage jinso gebe sonam ge dola benjere sanje jo barasho sanje joda zoge chonam Janjo bardo dane gyapso che dage jinso gebe sonam dola benjere sanje do barai sho. Okay, so we will read the following verse. Each of these, the verse, we need to make a point that we learn the meaning of this eventually. These are extremely important. Many of them are connected with the concept of emptiness. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, no sameness. I persuade to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is freed of elaborations. I persuade to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all leads hearers seeking pacification and complete peace, who through the knowledge of paths cause those helping migrants to achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of which helps subdue and expand the varieties of teachings. the one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata and protector to you of my prostrations, the one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines for the forever noble light, raised to you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I join the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay, we'll recite this mantra 3 times. And this mantra, in fact, contains has a very the panoramic, the view of our life, what our life should be like, how to make the meaning out of this life. And many of us, we know how to say this, chant this, we'll chant this together. And others, those who are new, just listen to us and join us. And of course, this meaning, again, we have to know. Without meaning, it's just pointless. But today, exception. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum desham dathagato hyavatat desham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashamanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum desham dathagato yavatat desham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum desham dathagato hyavatat sham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat desham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessational causes as well as taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration free, clear light and non-composite. Such is the nectar of Dharma I've discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching, in silence I'll return to the word. Beyond our friend's thought and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. Its object of apprehension and self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddha, so 3 times I be obeisance. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are of the nature of suffering. All phenomena are of the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcendent sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dhamma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly domain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of aeons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of the suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries glow. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Okay, page 29, I think. Heart Sutra Mantra. What I have is on page 30, page 30 and page 31. Page 30 or 31, Heart Sutra Mantra. Most of you know that already. we'll say this together 5 times. And the meaning in simple terms is Tyatha or Tatyatha, means here is thus. Om, this syllable Om, whether you want to include it, not include it, is not mandatory. But if you want to include it, Om is something common to Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism. So this Om is consisted of 3 letters. A-U-Ma, A-U-Ma. These 3 letters, they symbolize the body, special mind. A symbolizing the body, U symbolizing the speech, Ma symbolizing the mind. As we recited, it should remind us that the body, speech, and mind that I have, which are so gross, so defiled, I should not remain in that state. For example, we feel, nobody wants to go through sickness. Nobody wants to be COVID positive. Nobody wants any kind of sickness. And nobody wants to die. So, but these things inevitably happen because of the body. And the speech unnecessarily creates so much of problems, divisions in the community, in the family. Just you utter a word and the family gets fragmented because of this, divided. And the mind, very corrosive, deeply going down into anguish, depression, anxiety, and so forth. So we see that what we have is body, speech, mind. And these have all so much of these demerits. So why should we remain like this? This journey can be very long, but why should we have to remain in this state of imperfection? Why not we go towards the perfection? The body is so pure, where you don't get sick at all, where you don't get old age at all. You forever remain youthful. Your speech, anybody who hears your voice feels it's so healing to hear your voice, and so nurturing, growing. And your mind, forever you feel the wisdom, forever you feel the joy, forever you feel lightness, no burnout, no laxity, no heaviness, lethargy, and forever you just feel compassion towards others. So, when it's Om, this should be a reminder for us that I should, with the body, speech, and mind, which constitute me, as I, so these should go from the state of misery to the state of happiness, state of imperfection to the state of perfection. So this should be what we should be reminded of. The next question is how? How can we do that? And the next one is Gade, Paragade, Parasamgade, Bodhis of 5 steps. And these 5 steps, of course, there are many of the people here. Ajirji here, Sunamna there, Tejala there, we have the Nils are there, and many of the Omar, Kate, Gorilla, many of them are they here. And so those who are new here, you can, just in the group discussions, all this, what is Gade, Paragade, they will tell you, right? You learn everything from them. So they already exposed to all these things. So you, particularly the new ones, you can learn many things from this group, because it's a mixture of people from having, say, many years of exposure to this tradition, with those people who are newly coming. But if it just raise hands, those who are more like into Buddhism for not more than 1 year, raise hands. Into Buddhism for not more than 1 year. 1. Okay. Yes. Not more than 2 years. Raise hand. Not more than 3 years. Not more than 3 years means not more than 1 year, 2 years, all included. Raise hands. Not more than 3 years. Okay. the first thing is that it should not be for the sake of you getting a new badge. Now I'm into Buddhism. This should not be the purpose. The purpose is for you to see the reality more closely. For you to grow, your happiness should grow. And if you're a Hindu, remain a good Hindu. If you're a Muslim, remain a good Muslim. Grow your happiness. Grow to become a more decent person. And become, okay, now I become a Buddhist. I'm a Buddhist. In the family, create lots of problems. The family is Hindu. Family is Christian. Family is Muslim, Jain, Sikh, non-believers. And then, oh no, according to Buddhism, this is not how we do. No. And then Buddhism is meant to create happiness. Embrace others. Now you are pushing others away from you. This is not Buddhism. In other words, you are into Buddhism. You come to learn about Buddhism in order to learn how to be a happier person. In order to learn how to make your family members happier. In order to learn how to, give some sense to other people who are not happy, who engage in domestic violence. So being a good role model, that they'll learn from you, not Buddhism, but learn compassion, learn the understanding of interdependency. This is the purpose. So for this, it's not an overnight job. This is what we have to do. We have to first learn it, practice it, and then see it's got to be gradual progress. For example, even to learn a language, for us to grow to this level of the maturity in terms of modern education, minimum it took us like 12 years of our prime forming years, 12 years. So, no doubt, to give a form to your mind into compassion, into understanding of interdependency, for sure it'll take time. So, this should be reminded for us that in Gade means go. Paragade, go beyond. Parasangade, go utterly beyond. Bodhiswa, establish your ultimate enlightenment, ultimate goal. Okay, we'll say this 3 times together. Deyata Om Gade Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswadhyata Om Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswadhyata Om Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha. Okay. Okay, so what we learned thus far while doing prayers, a little bit of explanation here and there, what we learned is that finally it is for your own happiness to get rid of your miseries. And in the process, to learn how to help others. And we may think that these are very soft topics, like helping others. Be happy, to stay away from miseries and so forth. But these require a great deal of learning, a great deal of training, a great deal of cognitive activation, cognitive development. The Buddha in Dhammavad taught that even if you have bright eyes, even if you have very bright eyes, but without the light, you will not see what is around you. Likewise, even if you have incredibly great intelligence, without the light of the wisdom, you will not see the reality. You will continue to be in miseries. So with this, I say, what is this light? What is this light? Before we go into explaining what this light is, let us be very realistic. What have we learned from this class? I learned from you. We learned from this great text, Nagarjuna 70 stanzas on emptiness. Just see if it has any relevance to our daily life, to our life, and then daily life, to see if it has any relevance. How many you learn, what is that? Even I forgot this, the telegraph writing. How many you know telegraph writing? You know that? You don't know. Telegraph writing. Actually, you should be knowing, right? Because those of my generation must know, must be knowing. Telegraph writing. Okay, those who have no clue what is telegraph writing, I never did it in my life. Presents. Okay. Is there anybody who can explain what is telegraph writing? Anyone? Huh? Very concise writing. Yes. 25 words. Okay. How many you did this, and how many you studied this as a part of your the English curriculum? Huh? The young ones. You did it. That's interesting. And the girl there, what's your name? Huh? Ipshita. Ipshita, and the boy there? Jay, you learned it. That's interesting. But many people, they have no idea what that is. My generation should know this, because it was being used so commonly. But I thought that is something so intrinsic, a part of the study English course. This was what I thought. And after a few years, that is gone. It's no more there in the textbook. It's already deleted. Why? Because it has become obsolete. Nobody uses it anymore now. How many of you use telegraph writing nowadays? Telegraph writing is, in other words, to make it very simple, in those days, one word will cost you 50 paisa. More words, more expensive, right? So that you have to learn how to convey the meaning with the economy of words. Less words, the meaning probably can convey. This is a skill that we have to learn. But today is totally obsolete. You're getting it? So therefore, in the textbook, you will not find it. I'm quite amazed that Jay and Ipshita and Mayank, Rahul, these young boys and girls, they learn this. As a part of in school. In school, you learned it. That's interesting. Is it like having learned the museum artifacts? You must have learned it. out of curiosity, it's like the museum artifacts. We go to the museum. This is, we learn about these things as a part of the anthropology. Otherwise, it's totally obsolete, right? Jay, you agree with me? Did you use that in your life? No, right? Why you have to worry about the words? You can just write pages and pages of emails, right? Nowadays, nobody, even I don't use email so much. What's up? So fast, very effective, right? Some people, they may not be using WhatsApp. I don't know what kind of things that they're using. Facebook, messengers, whatever. Okay, what is this? All obsolete. In other words, what we are learning should have a relevance to your life. If it has no relevance, just cut it. Until you want to learn the past, right? Museum artifacts you want to learn is fine. Otherwise, if whatever you are learning here, like the 70 stanzas, just see how they're relevant to you. Okay, my question to you. What is meant by relevant to you, relevant to your life? What do you see of your life? What do you seek in your life? Anyone? Raise hands. What do you seek in your life? Yes? Peace. Your name? Sangeeta. Okay, peace. You seek peace. Anybody else? If possible, in this class, when I ask something, just speak your mind. Just speak your mind. I seek peace. Anyone else? Very quick. Yes. Truth. Your name? Cedric. Truth. Anyone else? Love. Anyone else? More? Happiness. Okay. Yes. Clarity. Okay. Clarity in how to get good food. Anyone else? Support and help. Support and help for what? Healthcare. Amazing. Yes. Freedom. Very good. Your name? Ornella. Freedom. Fearlessness. Okay, this word seems to be very familiar to my ear. Fearlessness. Okay. The people from NDC, NMC, they must be, Okay, this is my sister there. Right? Your name? Tabishir. Oh, you're from NDC? Okay, so those from NDC, NMC who did not see Tabishir before, there's a sister there. This word, word came. Fearlessness. Very good. Thank you, Tabishir. Anyone else? Compassion. Patience. Your name? Ayushi. Okay. Patience. Very good. Anyone else? To remain calm. Calmness. Very good. Okay. See, the thing is that whatever we're discussing, try to relate this to our own life. We have so many problems. In fact, say just the last 1.5 months, I was going around Europe and in India, within India, everyone is suffering. Everyone is suffering. Right? Everyone is suffering. And the 2020 March, April, May, how many of you had a very deep fear, the fear of uncertainty of the COVID-19? 2020, just the initial outbreak of the COVID. Raise hands who had the feeling of uncertainty. Okay, right? Say, for example, let's say we have problems with the food. Okay, how I wish I'm a billionaire so that I don't really have to worry about the food. Or if you have any problem, you may wish something else. But COVID-19, no one is exempted. The kings, queens, princess, prime ministers, presidents, nobody is spared, right? And then I was in the hub of the COVID-19, Delhi hub. And the people in the remote villages who know me so well, they're worried about me. And then eventually, this COVID did not spare them also. It spread everywhere. Then the fear of uncertainty was so severe. So when I say that what does it mean by relevance to a life? Like this, the fear of uncertainty. The fear of uncertainty, it's so extremely corrosive feeling within us. Simply box us down, right? So all these things, complications in life, miseries in your life, just try to bring this up, and then see that what we're learning, if it is any relevance to these. And if you're 100% sure that it has no relevance, discard. It's just obsolete, totally irrelevant. Okay, so with this in mind, there must be a reason that whatever we learn should have benefit for us. Okay, so we see that in your life, how many of you had like nightmare problems? Problem of acute depression, stress, anxiety, fear, and so forth. How many had such experience? Raise hands. Acute sadness. Raise hands. Be very honest. Raise your hand. I'll not ask you what. Right? Just raise hands. Those who have such experiences. I never had such experience. Raise hands. I never had such experience. Raise hands. Okay. Jay there. The lady there. Okay. And the Omar? No? Yes. Yes. Okay. The point is that, and how many of you, at least one time, you were, say, somebody who you love so much. Just imagine, anytime, we never know that the person who I love so much, like my mom, my dad, brother, sister, husband, wife, children, anytime the person may disappear from this earth. Right? How many of you had this thought at least once in your lifetime? Raise hands. Okay, this is what I mean, right? I don't have any, you're right, I don't have any such fear. Yes, just remember these moments. In fact, we talk about what ignorance is bliss. You are not aware of, what experience you went through. You are unaware of this. You're ignorant with that, and then you say, "I'm okay, right? I'm okay. I have no miseries." But actually, we are full of miseries, or there is a great prospect of miseries awaiting us. This is reality. This is reality. This is reality. Okay. But it was in Cambridge, 2003, when I was in Cambridge there, in England. One of my friends, I don't know whether he actually, he uses gun, but he's expert in the using gun. And he writes articles on this in the reputed journals on guns. And he himself is very calm, gentle, nice person. And he told me, "Dorji, tell me something about Buddhism." And I was totally inexperienced. Just finished my, very complicated Buddhist philosophy studies, like 15, 16, 17 years of complex studies. And that I just started to vomit to him and start by saying suffering. He said, after a few seconds of listening to me, he said, Dorji, stop. And what happened? He said that in the West, never talk of suffering, never talk about suffering. And he gave an example that in Cambridge, the city center, car accidents happen. But within 5 minutes, believe it or not, within 5-10 minutes, there's blood splashing the air. But within 5 minutes, everything's so clean. And again, the traffic is very smooth. Why? People are scared to see suffering, to see death. This is the reality. This is the reality. This is what he said. Because of this, all what is the reality, which we cannot avoid, they're all hidden from the start of the people. In the city center, you don't see anything. Everything's so perfect in the city center. Once in a while, I say accidents happen, injury happens, they're just washed, cleaned, and again, traffic, very smooth. Everything hidden away from the sight of the public. Death is happening. Hospices are there. Everything's happening. But they're all hidden from the eyes of the common people. Okay. But what we're doing here is as I said earlier, so what for we are here? What for? What for we are here? So just see the next 7 days. If you can relate these 7 days with your own life, real life experience, this is so important. It doesn't matter what religion that you're following, what gender do you belong, what gender you have, or say what ethnicity you are. It doesn't matter. Just see if these 7 days, the learning has any relevance to your own life. And for me also, don't think that, okay, I have everything. No, I'm learning in the process, discussing with you, sharing with you, revising what I've learned before. Is again a journey for me. Is all of us, we are in the same boat, cruising towards a greater meaning. So for that, the meaning, as you said, that some people say patience, some people say calmness, happiness, peace, and so forth. We should be very realistic. We should be very realistic. What I mean by realistic is that one time I was in Singapore, and I was to meet one gentleman, a father of one girl. The girl is a Buddhist and the father is Christian. And this being very unrealistic is not only common to this particular gentleman, but with any person from any religion, from any the community. So what is that? Once I was sitting with him. He's a Christian. And then I was waiting for this meeting for a whole 1 year. And finally he accepted. We met. We were sitting on the same bench for almost like 2 hours. I've been waiting for this meeting for a whole 1 year. And then he was also mentally preparing, what should I talk to him if I accept him to come to my place. And he began the talk by saying that Christianity is the best religion in the world. I said, yes, that's very true. If I said no, he would say, get out. Then my whole 1 year effort is gone. So I said, yes, that's very true. That's very true. How true? Look at charity. The Christian charity is amazing. Education, in the field of education, is amazing. In the field of, health, is amazing. So in the field of, so whatever, and some charity, volunteer, Christians is just amazing. Okay, he was relaxed. Then he said that anybody who, meaning people like me, right? Anybody who is against God, you cannot do things, you cannot say things against the God's will. I said, yes, that's true. If I say no, he'll say, get out. Right? Okay, so I see, yes, that's true. Then but we have to spend time, like 2 hours together. And then his talks, so I'm the passive listener to him. Because I should be very careful, otherwise he can anytime seg me out. So I was a passive listener and he was an active speaker. And then his topic switched from this to that, this to this. One time the topic went to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He said, it's so good that His Holiness the Dalai Lama gave up his political power. It's so good. I said, yes, it's very good. Then after a while, then he said that he's a religious person. He should not be in politics. I said, yes. Then after a while, I got some understanding of his thinking. Then I told him that time it was Obama, the president of America. I told him that I personally see Obama as a very spiritual person. And he said, he's a very spiritual person. Yes. And I said that, just imagine in place of Obama, if there's somebody else who's totally non-spiritual, who doesn't believe in any spirituality, this person will tear the world into pieces. He said, that's very true. So therefore, religious people shouldn't have politics. He said, you're very smart. Okay, so what I'm saying is that that just see the inner life, say the purpose. Say whatever we're doing, whatever we're learning, just see if there is any relevance to the goals. So with this, say do you agree with me that finally that inner life, right, whether you are studying music, whether you're studying chemistry, or you are into the environment, or the animal activists, or whatever, environmental activists, activism, whatever field that you're involved with, in all we see that there are two agendas. There are two agendas there. One is, okay, by the way, just tell me, I say what do you think is related to what you're doing in your life? Related to what you're doing in your life. Don't just speak from the air, from somewhere in the sky. Relate to your life. Tell me, what are things that you feel important in life? Anyone, quick. Exploration. To explore. Good. Anyone else? Community. Very good. Empathy. Very good. Knowledge. Very good. Huh? To serve others. Very good. Okay, my next question. The Omananda. Okay, why do you think? Okay, now listen, this is very important. Say, at times, 10 minutes of interaction can be more beneficial than 10 hours of lecture. Let's not forget it. So, why 10 minutes interaction? To be very beneficial, that you should be involved in the interaction. So, although I'm just interacting with somebody, you keep in mind that, imagine that you are also part of this interaction. You interact. If I would give this answer. Okay, why exploration?
Because I can.
What is that if you can?
Because I have this possibility.
This is what I'm saying. Say, if you have a possibility, why should you have to do it?
Because I believe it is gain.
Sorry?
This possibility is not an availability for most sentient beings.
Yes.
Since I have this capability, I should utilize it for this purpose.
Why should you utilize it?
Why not?
No, the question is, why not?
There's no reason why not.
No, this is what I'm saying. So why I'm saying this, there are so many possibilities.
It is a matter of curiosity.
Okay, so why do you want to fulfill your curiosity?
It's not a question of why, it's by nature.
Okay, is it by nature? We just flow by nature.
You can try to stop curiosity, but when
No,
when it's genuine, it is coming.
No, the Omananda, I'm not discouraging your curiosity. I'm just wondering, I'm curious. I'm curious to know, why you want to fulfill your curiosity.
By nature.
Huh?
By my nature.
By nature, by nature, I like to eat food every day. I like to eat so much of food, but I stop, deliberately I stop. Because otherwise I become fatter. I stop it. I don't have to flow with the nature. Why? Okay, don't forget it. Why knowledge? Why do you have to understand what's happening around? Let's not forget it. Hey, these questions. Let us learn how to articulate your thoughts and get the answers. You getting it? Why do you have to know what is around you, happening around you? Why do you have to know inside of you? Okay, you're getting it? Oftentimes we just flow with nature and we never ask these questions. Right? Okay, let's not forget it. Okay, the serenity. To serve. Why do you have to serve somebody? Serve what? Why? Huh?
Because I found something that I want to serve.
You found something. What did you find? You found connection to Buddha nature. Why do you have to find connection to Buddha nature?
Because nothing else makes sense. Nothing else made sense.
Nothing else makes sense. So you have found, there are so many other things to be found, not in Buddha nature. Why Buddha nature is very important to you?
It's all there is.
Huh?
It's all there is.
No, there are many things. It's not only the thing. Huh?
There isn't to me.
Okay. Anyone else? What answer that you gave this girl? What do you say? No? Anyone else? Huh? Here? Raise your hand. What answer you gave? Yeah. Empathy. Why empathy? Not be selfish. Why should you? What's the problem with being selfish? What's the problem with being lonely? No, it doesn't matter. If it's better, middle is fine. Sometimes middle is better. Middle way. Huh? Not to you. So why do you have to do something for you? Okay, anyone else? Anyone else? What do you think is related to your life? What do you think is important in your life? Anyone?
The ability to discriminate wisely.
The ability to discriminate?
Wisely.
Wisely. Oh, that's interesting. Why should you have to, why should you be philosopher? Should everybody become philosopher? Should everybody become a Nobel laureate in physics?
Because I'm always making choices in life.
Yes.
And to make better choices.
Okay, to make better choices. Why should you have to make a better choice?
Otherwise, I do something which I find bites me back in the long run. Which comes back to me in a bad way.
Okay, which comes back, which comes back to me in a bad way. You don't like that. No.
Try not to do it anymore.
Potentially, what can come back to you as bad, this is what you like to start. This is what you...
Going forward.
Going forward. Why do you have to go forward?
Because I have a purpose, and that's why
What's the purpose?
to figure out the purpose.
Why do you have to figure out the purpose?
Because otherwise, that's the only way I'm able to understand time.
Why do you have to understand time?
If I'm on one side of the washroom and there's another person inside, I have to understand time.
Yes, of course, you have to understand time. But you know, I think everybody understands time.
But yes, so for that, I need to have a purpose, but not just when I have to go to the washroom. Otherwise,
Okay, so let us not forget these. In other words, we are trying to learn how to ask questions. Oh, it's already 10:48. So, okay. So what we do is that because that for today, I'm not too sure about group discussions, but from tomorrow, for sure, there's going to be a group discussion. Okay. What we do is that think more for the next. Think more. Why to ask this how? Why? Okay. Think more why you are keen to ask this question. Think more on this, and we'll come back at 11:30 or 11. 11:30. So 11:30. No. Group discussion. So the best thing is we'll carry this. The flow is already created. We'll continue for the next 15 minutes. Then we'll have tea break for half an hour. We'll come back. Okay. What we're learning, in a way, what we're learning is we are trying to learn how to articulate your thought process, what I'm seeking. Not what Dorji is seeking, what each one of us we are seeking. You're getting it? This is so important. Anybody else? Balance. Okay. Balance of what? Balance of power? Say it again. Oh. So why balance is? Why do you want the balance? Huh? You feel safe. Why should you be safe? Huh? Okay. So why do you want to know the answer? Okay. Did you all understand what she's trying to say? Say, when I don't get the answer, there's something happening. What is there something? Irritation is happening. The unease. Unease is happening. And I don't want to live with this unease. Let's not forget it. So somehow, when you see that there's a prospect of greater knowledge, getting greater knowledge, and you're not getting it, there's unease within me. When there's a prospect of a lot of exploration to do, and you get stuck, not getting the opportunity to do so, there's unease within you, right? Then, what's your answer? Discriminate things wisely, right? Discriminate things wisely. Sometimes this is exactly my disease. I have the same disease, right? One time, when I see people doing things so unwisely, it simply creates this uneasiness within me. What's your name? Huh? Ipshita. What she said is exactly what is happening to me, right? She articulated so nicely with the body language like this. This is exactly what is happening within me when somebody makes very unwise judgment, unwise decision. One time, there was one elderly lady, and she said that, Geshe, my bed is too hard. I said, don't worry, I'll give you a soft mattress. Then I asked the office staff to get a soft mattress. And then after a few days, I went to her, and she said, Geshe, my mattress is too soft, right? Too soft. And then she said that there's one gentleman, and this gentleman told me that you buy a new mattress. New mattress. You cannot ask Geshe every time. And she said that I'm going to buy a new mattress. I said that you don't buy a new mattress. What you do is, soft one you put down, hard one you put at the top, and then there's going to be balance. And even this much, this gentleman cannot think. I said, you just do it, and why do you have to waste money? Why do you have to waste money? Just put the soft one down and the harder one on the top, and then it's going to be balanced. Not too soft, not too hard. And even the small thing that this gentleman cannot think. And she said that, Geshe, if you can think like this, he is also going to be the director of Tibet House. Right? So this is my disease. What you said is, I fully agree with you. Your name? Jaidev. What Jaidev said, yes. Whereas, and His Holiness the Dalai Lama, he's very smart. When he sees people who do things so wisely, there's elation coming in him. You're getting it? There's a joy coming in him. Just you can see from his body, facial expression. When somebody does things so wisely, meticulously, efficiently, there's a joy coming in him. So, to think wisely, right? Okay. So, the point is why? Why do you, when you see somebody not thinking wisely, then what happens? This unease is coming in you. Very strong unease. Nobody wants unease. You're getting it? Empathy, right? When you see somebody else who's very selfish, no empathy towards somebody else, right? Say a bureaucrat. Say the school child, college student comes in the heat, Delhi heat, hours waiting there in the heat. And then he or she, not only he, sometimes even the she also, not only he, right? Can just put the signature, finish. Let the child, spare the child, can go, now leave. No, said, come tomorrow. The child has to again waste another day, the next day, in such a heat. And they are they are college students. They don't have, this money. They have to come by again. They have to waste their time, resources. Empathy is missing. Whereas some bureaucrats, they're amazing. Wow. When you see very empathetic bureaucrats, you feel that the world is going to be different with this kind of compassionate bureaucrats. It's not that all bureaucrats are bad. They're extremely compassionate bureaucrats are there. So why empathy? When you see somebody who's not empathetic, extremely selfish, cruel, unkind, uneasy feeling, extremely disturbing feeling comes to you. You don't want this. Okay, do you see something common in all these things? Do you see something common? What is that? Okay, let's not forget what this girl said. Ishita. What this girl said? Finally, we are all running away from the unease. We are going towards the happiness. This is the answer, finally. Knowledge for that purpose. But they say to take wise decisions for that purpose. Empathy for that purpose. Everything is just exploration for that purpose. With exploration, I feel the ease. Now I can explore all the possibilities. And then to serve, it makes me happy. Yes, these are very profound feelings. When I was in my personal retreat, that was several years ago, so there were several village cows around, and even the onion peel does not go waste. Everything is so precious for me. I collect them, and then I chop like fresh cabbage, and then put some salt in it, mix them, and then I'm going to give to the cows. 1 handful to each of the cows. They loved it. It's so beautiful. And in Delhi, I cannot do anything. All these food, they all go into the dustbin. They all go into the dustbin. It makes me so painful to see so much wastage is happening. Whereas when I see that these, they don't go waste, that somebody enjoys this, it gives me such a joy. Serving, empathy, yeah. Everything's related to this. That we all, this all boil. If you ask the second question, why knowledge, why exploration, why empathy, why wise decision, so forth, all answer will boil down to the same. Superficially, they are very different. But you ask the second question, they'll all boil down to the same point. That is, to stay away from unease. And somebody said liberation, freedom. Who said it? Yes. Freedom. What's the opposite of freedom? What's the opposite of freedom? Bondage, lack of freedom. Right? So lack of freedom, nobody wants. Everybody wants freedom. Okay, how many of you, when you're watching television with your little brother, right? How many of you want to keep the remote control in your hand? Raise hands, raise hands, raise hands. Raise hands. Why? You want the freedom. You don't want to lose your freedom. I want to watch this channel. I don't want to watch the cartoon. Right? I'm not a small child. I don't want to waste my child watching the cartoon. Right? So I want to have my own control. Freedom. Everybody is seeking freedom. You're getting it? So we boil down to these two. Stay away from miseries. Stay away from unease, miseries, lack of freedom, versus going towards heaven. This, after all, this is the answer. You're getting it? If somebody would ask you, and this answer did not come, it's not my unilateral answer given to you. It is through our interaction that we come to discover this reality. That we are all seeking to stay away from unease, miseries, lack of freedom, and we are all seeking happiness. You're getting it? Okay, how many of you had the experience, how many of you, whether you remember or not, it doesn't matter, but how many of you had the experience of day one you came on this earth? Raise hands. For how many of you that day happened? Day one you were on this earth. For how many it happened in your life? No. Whether you remember or not, but it actually happened. Raise hands. Logically, yes. How many happened? Raise. Or it did not happen to you, raise hands. It did not happen to you, raise hands. Okay, which means that we all had that experience. Just imagine, day one you're born, how many of you must have cried? Raise hands. Day one you're born, how many of you must have cried? I don't know how many of you cried, right? How many of you must have cried? Raise your hands. Why did you cry? Or how many of you must not have cried? Raise your hands. If you have not cried, somebody have slapped you, right? You are made to cry. Why did you cry? Think of it. Day when you were born on this earth, you do not have philosophy. You did not have psychology. You did not have religion. You did not have even a sense of the community. But you did know how to cry. What made you cry? Did you cry? Did you cry thinking that, oh, the other baby, what is that? The other baby is not getting milk. Other baby is feeling cold. Please feed the other baby. Or you cried for what? That I am, there's discomfort here. Somebody said, discomfort there. I don't want this discomfort. I'm feeling cold. It's little I. You getting it? I have a dis-ease. I don't want this. And to say, be it instinct or be it your deliberate attempt, somehow you express it in the form of crying to tell others that I'm going through a terrible time. I don't want this. This is how we began our life, right? We began a life like this. In other words, day one we are born on this earth, we are not born with a philosophy. We're not born with modern science. We're not born with anything, no religion. We are born with a basic desire for happiness, basic desire to run away from miseries. This is how we are born. Today, you may be Christian, Hindu, Muslim, Jain, Buddhist, or Sikh, or non-believer, or Jew, Baha'i, or Parsi, or any religion you're not following, or non-believer, it doesn't matter. But we are all equal in wanting happiness and not wanting suffering. You agree with me? Okay, if you agree with me in this regard, the next question is, what degree of happiness do you want? 10%? 20%? 80%? Anyone, tell me. 100%. And some people say that, I'm sure here in this group also, there must be some who think that, no, I want 80% happiness, 20% suffering. So with the 20% suffering, I'll know happiness. Without the suffering, I will not know what happiness is. So I need 20% of suffering, not 100%. Some people say like this. So for this, what I tell is that, okay, the Pravinji, is there anybody who's thinking tallies with this? Raise hands. Is there anybody who's thinking tallies with what I said? I want 80% happiness, not 100%. Okay, Zalina, Jay, here, your name? Anirban, and who else? The girl there? Swati. Okay, so Pravinji, did you identify these people? Right? So for of the 8 days, of the 8 days, 1 day no food for them. 1 day no food for them, so that they'll appreciate the remaining 7 days. 1 day no food for them. If they complain, come to me. All right? Anil Ban, then Swati, and then Salina, and who else? Who else? Jay. Right? So 1 day no food for them. Right? Yeah. Then we'll see how honest they are. Right? Okay. So this is what we do. Okay, good. Yes.
Is that everything related, right? So, coming back to this topic of dependent on
Yeah.
it has to relate. So happiness is also related in this sense. So you need to have
No. What you want the 20%? you want 80% happiness? Let me know. All right, you're getting it. So you let me know if anybody wants only 80% happiness. Let me know. Yes, let me know so that we can increase the revenue for Deer Park. Right? Yeah. So we have to think of that. Okay. So with this, the next question is, what degree of happiness that you are seeking? You getting it? And that too, don't be philosophical. Be realistic. Speak from your heart. What do you feel? You getting it? Then the philosophy makes sense. If you begin with a philosophy is not a philosophy. Only when you begin with what you feel, that this is exactly my problem. So now, how to solve it? Then the philosophy makes sense. Okay. Next question, what degree of misery you want to get rid of? 10%? 20%? Same. So some people say, no, it's not doable. This is not my question. I'm not asking you whether it's doable. I'm just asking what degree, if there's a choice, what will you go for? You want to get rid of the miseries completely, or you want to leave 10% of the miseries? Or you want to have the 100% happiness, or you want to have just 80% happiness? What do you think? What's coming from your heart? This is the question. So, once the answer is that I want to get rid of the miseries completely, and to have the maximum happiness. Only then the next question is it doable? If the answer is yes, the next question is how? Okay, short break. Come back in half an hour.